just like not move at all, like it'd be like perfect.
It's gonna be hard for me to do. Welcome back to the Queen's Yanks channel, guys. Today we are going to be discussing our kit rankings for the English League Two. How you doing today, Adam?
I'm doing just fine. How are you today, Jeremy?
Good, good. So before we get into today's rankings, I want to update you guys on some polls that we had done recently on one of our videos, which was which team is going to win the English Championship. And as you can see, QPR kind of ran away with it, but I won't hold too much to this one because clearly our channel, clearly a lot of our followers and friends are QPR fans. But so that said, we're going to have a video with every poll. So make sure you follow us on Twitter, and that way you can participate in the poll and join the conversation on there as well. But that said, today we're going to be doing some English League Two rankings, going down to the bottom at this point. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into it with AFC Barrow. And, Adam, I quite like the kit itself. I like the little digital print kind of on it, but I don't really like the sponsor on it. But that said, I saw this on a player, and it looked really, really good. So I did put it in my top 5 at number 3.
Oh wow. So for Barrow, I'm not really sure what to think of this one.
Yeah.
It quite honestly reminds me of a Windows 98 screensaver. I don't know if you remember the ones that had like the lines going all over the place, kind of like on this
Yeah. Yeah.
kind of on
I
this
do.
kit. Um, and I honestly feel like the sponsor looked like it's just like a slapped on bumper sticker on the back of a car. So right off the bat, we're on opposite ends here. I've got Barrow ranked 21st.
So, and we figured that would happen, by the way.
Yeah.
So we'll go right into Bradford City, a former big club now playing in League Two. This kind of reminds me of uh, of a Roma kit, to be honest with you, at some point down the line. I like it. I think it's pretty clean. I think the sponsor goes with it. I've got it ranked 4th.
So for Bradford City, I mean, I did a little bit of research on it. I know they took inspiration from what would be their 40th anniversary team, kind of with the design on the shoulders. And I think it does go with the crest. I think the sponsor does fit in. Sadly, I don't know. I'm just not a fan of it. I've got Bradford City 19th.
So we'll go right along to Bristol Rovers, and I can already tell you they ranked ahead of Bristol City. So they got that going for them. Um, I want to like this kit, but the black stripes and the blue going right through the middle, it reminds me of another kit that we did. I don't remember the team that was, but was it Middlesbrough maybe?
I think so.
Yeah, it looks kind of like the blue version of that, but I gave it a little bit more points because of the collar, so I got it at 15.
So if you've ever seen any of our other rankings videos, you know right off the bat that I don't like collars. I don't like the button up. So automatically, you know that this isn't going to touch my top 10 because of that. Um, but I give a little bit of credit. I do kind of like the color combination.
Yeah.
Still not a fan of the kind of how the sponsor's thrown in there, and you're kind of bringing a lot of attention to the middle. But I still went mid-table. Bristol went 15th.
Oh wow. Okay, so that's our second one we've ever hit ever. All right, so we'll go on to Carlisle United. Uh, I'm kind of in the same boat with this one with Bristol. I don't really like the attention that goes to the sponsor. But that said, I do think it's a tad bit better than Bristol, so I've got it ranked 14.
So I think this actually looks good in my opinion. I think it incorporates the team colors very well, and I actually think the sponsor fits. I don't think it doesn't like kind of I don't think it outlines the sponsor like Bristol does. I actually do like this one. Carlisle United got 5th.
Okay. So go right along to Colchester United. I'll just be honest with you, I don't like this kit whatsoever, and I've got it at 23rd. I don't have much to say about it other than I really don't like it.
So for Colchester United, I absolutely love the Roman eagle that's incorporated into this kit. I think I really think that's awesome. Um, my biggest issue here, quite honestly, if it weren't for the hideous orange
Yeah.
sponsor,
Yeah.
this might have been my number one or close to it. But because of the kind of bright orange sponsor there, Colchester United came in still pretty high. Came in sixth for me.
Yeah, that sponsor is ugly. It does not fit anything on there. So we'll go on to Crawley Town, and if you've watched any of our other ones, I believe that these red and white kits, they all kind of look the same. They all just mesh this pretty much the same way, and I don't feel like this one's really any different. I do like the sleeves on it, a little sleeve trim on it. At least they do have that going for them. But nonetheless, I'm not really a fan of it. I give it a 22nd.
Wow. So Crowley Town for me, really similar design to Carlisle United, but I think these colors are actually more vibrant and pop for me. And I think the colors in the team crest go perfectly together. I personally think it's a great look. I actually have Crowley Town fourth.
Oof. Ooh, fan of basics today. So we'll go on to Exeter City. Um, this looks like a rejected Sunderland kit, in my opinion. So I've got it at 17. I don't have much to say about the red and white kits.
I like the example you gave there. I would agree with what you said. I mean, I'm not really a fan of how the stripes kind of go up to like the lower chest and just stop. And I don't really understand. I mean, well, it's the sponsor, so I guess that's why. But I just don't like the kind of baby blue or aqua check mark in the sponsor logo. Looks out of place to me. So I've got Exeter City 18th.
Well, we're one off on that one. So we might be very off on this one. So we'll move on to the Forest Green Rovers, aka the Vegan Club. And I tried my best not to be biased, but I freaking love this kit. I've always loved their kits. I think their kits are awesome. So the Bamboos, I've got number 1.
Forest Green Rovers. This is quite the interesting kit.
Yeah.
What can I say? I absolutely love the neon green base with the black zebra stripes. I think it looks great. Goes perfect with the team crest. I also love that these kits are made from waste coffee grounds and recycled plastic bottles. Forest Green Rovers, you get the double number 1. You got your number 1 for me too.
Did we really just do that?
Yeah, we sure did. Forest Green, you get the double number 1.
Well, that'll never happen again. But they always have some great kits. I like their away kit as well, although the neon green is perfect. So we'll go on to Harrogate Town, and the kit itself I quite like, but the sponsor, I just do not like it with this kit. But I do dig the whole Borussia Dortmund style jersey they got going on there, but that does bring it up a little bit. So I've got it just outside my top 10 at 11th.
Not gonna hold back on this one. We just went from my number 1 overall pick to my very last pick. Harrogate Town, you get 24th for me. I'll be quite honest. That this kit would probably easily be a top 10 for me if it weren't for the sponsor.
Yeah.
This is another one where I feel like the sponsor is just a sticker slapped onto the smack dab in the middle of the kit there. I think it's a terrible look. Sorry, Harrogate Town, but you take the sponsor out there and you're getting raving reviews for me.
Yeah, I think this might be the second worst sponsor of the kits that in League Two, and we'll get to number 1 later on, in my opinion. So next we'll go with Hartlepool United. This is just a basic, to me, blue and white stripe. I don't think the sponsor really goes with it. I do like their crest a lot, and I wish they would have taken the Swansea or the MK Don route or something like that. But anyway, I've got them on 21st.
I completely agree with everything you said. I think it's another kit ruined by the sponsor. I do like minus the sponsor. I love the look. Hartlepool United, you get 20th for me.
So now we're going to move on to Leyton Orient. This London-based club does not have a London-based jersey. This might be the plainest jersey of them all, in my opinion, and I don't really like the sponsor. I've got it at 24th.
Oh wow, I was not expecting that one to be 24th. Interesting. Yeah, Leyton Orient. I mean, I guess I have a little bit of an opposite viewpoint here. I actually think it's a good looking kit. It's just not impressive enough to crack my top 10. I do feel the sponsor logo takes away from it a little bit. Obviously, nowhere near as much as you, Jeremy, but I've got Leyton Orient ranked 12th.
Yeah, I don't like the straight white sleeves, the white collar. I don't know. There's just nothing really a flow to that, in my opinion, on that one. So we'll go on to Mansfield Town. It's a different kind of kit. I've always not necessarily. There are teams you hate and teams you love, and there are teams you're just indifferent on always. You never hate them or you never love them. Mansfield's kind of been one of those teams for me where I've never hated them, but I've never loved them. I think it's because of their proximity to Nottingham Forest, which is one of my first loves when I got into watching the sport. So I guess you could say that, but I do like the kit. It's off yellow looking color. I dig the blue sleeves. The sponsored kind of just fits right in with the uniform, in my opinion. I've got it at number 9.
Interesting. So Mansfield Town, I actually like the color combo and kind of the way it was done. I think it goes good with the team crest. I do like the almost like 3D triangles that are incorporated into it.
Yeah.
So I actually gave Mansfield Town my number 2 ranking.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I can't argue with that. I liked it. So we'll go on to Newport County. And as I mentioned earlier, there was a sponsor that I thought looked really, really bad, but this one's not it. Although this one's getting close to it. So Newport County, I don't know, it's got a weird design on it. I don't necessarily think that's terrible, but what just makes this awful, in my opinion, is the sponsor. You're gonna have like this off dull yellow kit with a pink and white sponsor. I don't know. It doesn't quite look as bad as some of the other ones, but that said, it does bring it down to number 12 for me. But I did enjoy watching them in the playoffs last year, especially that crazy FGR game where it came down to like the last second, literally. But coming number 12 this year.
Yep, I think that was the game we actually watched together.
We did.
Yeah. So Newport County for me, I mean, this is another one where I feel the sponsor logo just ruins the kit. I do love the kind of orange black, but when you add the pink and really kind of like cream colored sponsor logo, I think it looks absolutely terrible. So Newport County for me is 23rd.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll go on to Northampton Town, and this is one of those kits where if it had a collar and button up, this may have been my number 2. I dig the local sponsors. I always do. To me, that's always get you points. I like the white trim. I like the white semi-collar or the top collar. I don't know what you would call that, just the top part of the collar, how it's white. If that went all the way around, that might be in my top 5, but I've got it number 6.
Okay. So for Northampton Town, I mean, I also love that they're locally sponsored. I kind of like it's kind of hard to see, but I do like the kind of intricate background design as well on the front of the kit there. And I think just it is kind of basic, but I think it works. I actually have them ranked 3rd.
Okay. Semi-close on that one.
Yeah. Yep.
So we'll move on to Oldham Athletic, and I believe this is going to be another one of those kits where people either really like or they really hate. When I first looked at it, I didn't really like it, but then when I studied it a little bit more, I thought everything kind of flowed well together. I do like the different shades of blue that it has kind of on the chest to the bottom area. I like the white trim. I think there's a lot of small detail in this one that'll go missed if you're just glancing at it. But after I started looking over it, I really, really like this one. I've got it at number 2.
Oh, wow. I don't disagree at all. This one was a tough one for me, and I think you explained it perfectly because I actually had it ranked higher and then dropped it down a little bit. I just couldn't decide.
Yeah.
But no real different explanation than what you gave, but I went 10th, so they cracked my top 10 at number 10.
I would have that kit to hang on my wall. I think it's with the details. I really dig the small details on that jersey.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll go on to Rochdale, and this is definitely a classic look to it. I do dig the collar. I like the white trim. I think they have a white trim in the right spots. I don't like the sponsor on it, but I don't hate it, but they do less things wrong than a lot of these jerseys, in my opinion. So I've got it at number 10.
So for me, with Rochdale, so my comments on this one is that it would definitely be in my top 10, maybe even top 5 if it weren't for the sponsor logo. I just think it looks out of place, especially with the red. I just don't like that. So for that reason, you got 17 for me.
Yeah, and I want to say this before we go on to the next ones. Like, a lot of these kits I liked, but the sponsors kind of put them out of place. So a lot of these took places by me just saying, which one did the sponsor not ruin the most?
Yeah, it really was.
So we'll go on to Port Vale, and Port Vale is an interesting kit. It's one of those kits where I don't really like the shade of color, but I like the kit itself. So if you've watched my previous kits, I really like the MK Dons and I like Swansea City. I really like this one too, and I love the collar, but I just don't like the color shade that they went with. So that said, I've got it at 8th still, but it could have easily been higher.
So funny enough, I don't know. I think it works. I mean, it's basic. But I think it works. I mean, it's just the fact that they didn't incorporate multiple colors. It was just all one color, other than obviously the white. So as we all know, I've said it many times, I don't like the collars. But Port Vale, be happy because you're probably the only collared shirt that's going to make my top 10, and you came in at number 9.
Oh wow, we're one off on that one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll go on to a team that I think, if had a collar, might be my number 2 or 3 pick, and that's Salford City, aka David Beckham FC. So I dig the whole lion look, silhouette of the lion face kind of there on the side. I think that's a lion face anyway, and I like the whole pinstripe kind of collar and thing on the outline on the sleeves. To me, that this kind of reminds me of an old Indiana Hoosier jersey.
Mm-hmm.
And I dig that, and I like the I think the Talk sponsor goes decently well with it. I like the little badge. This is, in my opinion, a lot better than some kits they've had in the past. So I've actually got this 13th, but this could have easily been top 5 if it had a collar.
Okay, all right. So for me, this was just another one of those kind of basic red and white kits. I found it interesting that you said you see kind of the design of a lion or what you think is a lion. That was my issue with it, is you can't really make out exactly what it is. Almost, to me, it almost just looks like it's a stain on the shirt.
I thought it was just a design, and then when I glanced at it more, I was just like, I think that might be a lion, because that's kind of what they are, and I'm guessing it's a lion. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I would assume that's what it's supposed to be, but to me, just when you look at it, I mean, if you can really look at it and concentrate, which you're not going to be able to do, like during a game or anything like that. But yes, I think that's what it is. But it looks just at a glance like a stain. But I did feel it was still, I guess you could say it works, makes sense, even though it's one of your basic red and white ones. So for that reason, Salford City got 14th for me.
Okay, well said. It does work. So we'll go on to Scunthorpe United. I think this is kind of a hideous shirt, to be honest with you. I don't have much to say about it other than I don't like anything really going on for it. I like what the sponsor stands for, but that's about it. So I've got it at 18th.
So I actually really like this design and color combo. I think it matches the team crest perfectly. and I mean, it also actually mentions the town that I live in on the back of it, because I live in Pepperell, Massachusetts, and it mentions Pepperell on the back of it. I'm not really familiar with Pepperell, England, or whatever that might be, but I thought that was actually pretty cool. So maybe brownie points for that. You got 7th from me.
So we'll go on to newly promoted Sutton United, and I actually liked their kits better last year. I don't mind the kit itself, but the Angel Plastics sponsor to me, this kind of reminds me of something you would see on a construction site. I think it's it's a mix of the colors and the sponsor itself. But that said, I do like the, again, another team kind of going for the Borussia Dortmund look. I do kind of like it, so I've got it 7th.
Yeah, I mean, I think you make a good point. I mean, this was a tough one. I mean, I don't like it, but I don't hate it either. It's just kind of middle of the road for me, and it kind of got, I guess you could say, upper middle road for me. I went Sutton United at 11.
Okay. So Stevenage is next, and remember when I mentioned earlier how I think there was probably the worst sponsor ever, and you mentioned earlier about a bumper sticker. To me, this is literally a bumper sticker on a jersey. I do not like this whatsoever, and I don't like, the kit itself isn't awful. I do like the whole their team color trim right there on the collar and on the sleeve, and I don't mind the kit actually, but incorporate that sponsor in there a little bit better, and this would have been easily top. I mean, this might have been top 10 if they would have done it a little bit better, but I've got it at 19th. I think the sponsor looks terrible on this kit.
I couldn't agree more. Literally, like you said, this was one of like 3 or 4 teams where it just looks like they just slapped a sticker on there for the logo. It looks completely out of place. It's not like it literally looks like a sticker. So for that reason, 22nd for me.
Okay, so we'll move on to Swindon Town, and whoever is running your Instagram, like, post more, do something, because it took me forever to actually find your kit. and when I did find your kit, I had to go find some fans wearing your kit, not players. So that said, I don't have anything against the kit, but to me, this just falls into your basic red and white kit, and I don't really. There needs to be more to it, in my opinion. So I've got it at 20th.
So I totally agree with because I struggled to find this one too. So I totally agree with your sentiment to they need to post more, be a little more active on social media. But unlike you, I actually do kind of like the design. Yes, I know it's another red and white, but I feel this one really has some kind of vibrant colors to it. I like the pinstriping. I feel like the sponsor fits in really well also. So for that reason, Swindon Town got 8th for me.
Okay. So these next 2 kits are really, really interesting. And I don't know which numbers we haven't said yet, but we might disagree very much, or we might agree very much, because one of these I really like and one of these I really don't. So we'll go on to the Tranmere Rovers, and it is definitely a unique kit. I've never quite seen a kit like this, to be honest. But then again, I've never seen a kit like the next one either. So the green and the blue, I like the collar. I don't get it, but at the same time, I do like the kit itself. So I actually have it in my top 5 at number 5.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. It's certainly an interesting and different design. I I do kind of like it, but I'm not a fan of collars. It is different. The sponsor is a little strange, but
Yeah.
good effort. But I went 16th on that one.
Okay. Well, then I definitely know we're not going to agree on this one, because my number 16 is Walsall. And it is, I don't know, it's another interesting kit to me. It looks like Christmas. I'm not necessarily saying it's a bad thing, but it looks like Christmas. 16 It doesn't flow good to me, but I don't hate it either. so I've got it at, so I've got it at 16th. I don't know what I honestly don't really know what to say about it.
Um, so we're actually not too far off on this one. So my exact notes when I was looking at this one and just jotting down some notes, I said I don't really understand the color combo, and honestly don't know if I like it or hate it. So for that reason, it's mid-table for me at 13.
Okay. Yeah, those last two were interesting. And hey, listen, this was of all the English football leagues, this was my favorite one to do so far because there was a lot of chances taken in this one.
Mm-hmm.
So kudos to the teams in this league. And that said, thank you all for sticking to the very end and watching this video. What did you think about those last two kits? Let us know. What did you think about our number one? Who was your number one? I really hope you guys stay with us because we're going to be doing some more leagues and we're going to be touching on some leagues that maybe aren't necessarily watched as much. So that said, stay tuned to our channel. Comment, like, please subscribe if you can. We're going to be trying to give away something once we hit 100 subscribers. So keep that in mind as well. And as Pat McAfee once said, be a friend, tell a friend. So everybody have a great week and peace out from the Queen's Yanks.